I'm talking to Golnar Shayar about the Golnar and Mahan trio. Golnar and Mahan Mirarab have performed well in many festivals and on radio programs all over Europe, including mine, by the way. I was very surprised by your CD, Derakt. And I didn't see it coming, so probably other people also didn't see it coming. So please share with us your history and the concept of making music.
Sure. First of all, hello to everybody. My name is Golnar Shahir from Golnar Mahan Trio. And our collaborative history with Mahan goes to the past 10 years. We played with so many different musicians together, also separate. We had so many different bands and ensembles. And what you hear from us currently is actually the fruit of all those years of collaboration. Also, 4 years of collaboration with Amir Bahwa here. This is how Derakt came into this world. Our concept was always to find a place where we feel belong to. You know, being the personality that having the personality we have, it's a bit hard to find the space where you say, this is where I belong. So you always have to look for that. So the concept of Derakt is exactly that. We look for our roots, a place where we can feel belong. And we always also look for new ways to express ourselves and to find new ways of understanding the world around us. So Derakt is actually symbolic of this constant search for your roots, but also for a person who you can be. And this is exactly reflecting into our music.
Well, it's not jazz, it's not Persian, it's a kind of Oriental fusion, or what is it actually like? If somebody would ask you, what is the music like you make? Would you say, yeah, it's Persian? Or would you say it's, well, describe it.
Well, we are a music storytellers. Musical storytellers, or we can say music painters.
So the lyrics are very important.
Please, sorry, I didn't hear you.
Sorry for interrupting. So the lyrics are very important?
Lyrics are as important as the music. So we use not only, when I say music storyteller, musical storyteller, it's not only through lyrics, it's also through the emotions that we share with the audience, with sounds, with silence, and with so many different elements that a music in itself has.
One important thing is that we enjoy to play together, we enjoy to share music. So if I had to explain it to someone who had no idea of this music, it's also something through this communication on stage, we share with the audience. Together with the audience, we create joy, we create intimacy, and through this, I think it's a very big part in our music.
But it seems extremely organized and accurate what you are playing. So you're probably rehearsing a lot. Well, how can you respond to an audience if everything is so well prepared?
Actually, I answered it. We are actually individually are all of us professional freelance musicians. We work with different ensembles, with orchestras, and that's actually our job, to do our job as well as we can. At the end, of course, it's not 100% perfect because nobody is perfect, but we do our best to prepare our stuff. We do our best to produce as good as we can and play it with, I'll give the whole love and energy that we have when we are playing on the stage and when we are recording in the studio.
Also, it's important to say that through all these collaborations that we had throughout our musical career, as well as our enthusiasm to always push our understanding about musical vocabulary, our musical vocabulary is very bright. So our understanding of rhythm, harmony, and a concept of sound is it has a very large range. Which automatically becomes a part of our, let's say, music mother tongue. So this this thing that seems very complex has become a part of our normal musical language. So if that also answers your question.
If you're making use of a tradition, there will always be those people who carry the tradition from one generation to the next generation. And they may say, hey, what she is doing is bad. Yeah, because she has a guitar in it, not a kanun or like that. How do you deal with this? How to say the dignity of tradition?
Can I answer?
Yes, sure.
Actually, I personally grew up with traditional music in Iran. I studied traditional Iranian music. I played tar, I played oud, and I always had to deal with that because at the same time, I was all the time playing jazz and classical music. I was playing piano and guitar, and I was living in two parallel worlds, which nobody could accept each other. And at some point, I became aware of, yeah, we can keep the tradition and also grow it, and also get grown in different ways. Like we shouldn't all the time repeat ourselves or repeat a certain tradition in our lives. I totally respect Iranian classical music as much as I respect the whole sounds in the world or the whole music genres or musical approaches in the world. So I learned it as a kid, but I shouldn't repeat it in my whole life. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I have also a different opinion about that. I believe we have to look at the functionality of music. There are music that hold the tradition, and there are musicians who find their home in those traditions, and that's absolutely respectable and necessary, absolutely necessary. But there's also musicians and musical movements that bring those traditions forward, adapt them to the contemporary needs of the society. For example, me as a woman could never find my real voice and personality in the musical tradition in Iran. As much as I respect it, there is no place for me there. There is no place for me there. So I had to find my own world in order to be honest with myself through music. So this is actually sometimes the problem with tradition. It becomes so rigid that it doesn't allow self-expression anymore. I respect it as a knowledge that has to be there, but also I respect people who have a different open mind to it and brings it forward.
You're based in Vienna, right? Or in Austria, and you're performing on the regional stage. Vienna is the hub for Balkan music, for Balkan crossover. Do you also include Balkan music?
Austria is not only Balkan music. Austria has so many different musical cultures in it, and we enjoyed those musical cultures. We grew with it, and we want to actually, through our music, show a different side of what contemporary Austrian music is. We don't believe contemporary Austrian music is just the white European coming from white European class, or the classical European. But we believe that whatever is happening right now in Austria is also a contemporary music. And yes, you said there are a lot of influence from Balkan, but there's also a lot of influence from all over the world, like the Turkish, now a lot of Arabic, Iraqi Arabic, Afghan. We are bringing a lot of Iranian influence. We have African influences. So we believe we need to celebrate all of them. And our music language is actually a celebration of that.
These days, a lot of musicians have to suffer from the corona situation, and probably while you're performing live, so it's a problem for you as well, I'm sure. Please tell, how do you deal with it? How is the situation in Austria?
Yeah, actually in Austria, a lot of festivals didn't cancel during the summer. And also there was a great festival, Kultursommer in Vienna, and also in other cities, which started like making big stages in big fields for musicians, to keep the distance for the audience, and make some musical events, theaters and dance, contemporary dance. So I really appreciated what happened in Austria during the summer. Still, last week we were on tour also in Germany, and yes, of course, you see less audience as before, but still I feel so appreciated to play music, play with other people in these situations. And yeah, a lot of concerts also got cancelled because of the situation. And yeah, that's how we can find new ways to play music and spread our words.
Yeah, and on the other hand, also like it's some chance to have more time, less traveling for concerts, and I think we all also enjoy and are fond or happy for this situation where everyone has more time to calm down, to play, to be connected with his instrument or a voice. So I think there are both sides.
Also, I want to add to that you know, being a musician, it makes it hard for you to influence your work condition if you're on the road all the time and you're overwhelmed with so much work. This pandemic, as much as it's hard for all of us, is an opportunity for all of us, because as musicians, we need to be more involved in how our industry is working, how our working conditions are, how the music is being represented. And so a little bit of activism in our work is, I think, necessary. And this pandemic gave us the time to really come together as musicians. For example, in Austria, we have now IG Freischaffende Musik. So it's an organization that now is working for better working conditions for musicians, working musicians, you know, performing musicians, independent ones. And so these are all the sides of Corona. So we come from a country where, you know, surprises are not a surprise anymore. So we take things as an opportunity, definitely. And we see this as an opportunity that brings musicians as well as all the people involved in the industry together, maybe hopefully to improve our music industry, because we need definitely a lot of improvement.
Okay, yeah, well, there's another opportunity, the WOMEX. I hope you can make something out of it. Thanks.
Thank you so much for this interview. Thank you so much.